Hey, how are you? Oh, this is the second take. The first one I had to kind of check in. Maybe I should do that more often because I feel a little bit more present and confident this round. So, hello. I hope that you are well. I am having lots of thoughts and feelings as usual. I'm definitely first and foremost really grateful because I've been, excuse me, on plan with food. And it's definitely easier when I have a crush on someone. And yeah, it's just like I can redirect that focus, you know? And so I'm practicing a lot of mindfulness around that because I have an idea of what I want. And I'm already starting to, this is a person that I've met who I've been communicating through like technology so far. We'll probably get together next week sometime to just hang out in a super casual way. But already he's showing vulnerabilities and I am experiencing repulsion. And I don't even like to admit that because I want to be in a relationship and I want to be attracted to a great guy. And the last couple of guys that I have been attracted to have been people who had a lot of not aggression, but they were a little bit, they were pretty masculine in a lot of ways, but they also were like difficult to reach in terms of emotions. And so there was something very manly and attractive about that to me, like there being this dynamic of not being able to crack open, you know, their Pandora's box immediately. And I also know that I have had a tendency to be attracted to people like that. And then once I could crack it open, I got kind of bored. So all of that sounds really manipulative, and it is in a lot of ways. I'm certainly not saying it's a great way to be. It's just how I've tended to be in the past. And so I really am just practicing a lot of mindfulness and presence, and it's difficult to remain honest with myself about the feelings I'm having, honor my desires, and really discern like what is real and what I am imagining. You know, the person that I'm attracted to, is that the person that I'm actually talking to? Because I have a great fantastical brain. And I also know that historically I have molded my heart in a way to try to make it so that I would stay with someone even if ultimately like I didn't feel my heart open around them. And that's tough because I don't really know what that feels like opening my heart around someone and feeling safe. And like how does a person feel both vulnerable and safe to be vulnerable in that sort of emotional raw way and allow that for someone else and be sexually attracted? Like that's very difficult for me. I don't know how to be sexually attracted to someone who is also emotionally available. I think that's what it is. And I think a big part of it is that I would like to be with someone who has pretty strong convictions and a pretty like well-established backbone in terms of like what is important to him and what he wants out of life. And I certainly don't want someone who's like super critical of me, but I also want someone who is going to call me out on my crap. And I also want someone who I can laugh and be funny with and, you know, be both an adult and a child with, which is hard because as soon as I say a child, I'm like, ooh, I don't know, do I want to be a child? Like, is being a child okay? Like, I'm still really struggling with accepting that child side. So, so that's been on my mind. And the other thing that kind of came up this morning was neat because one of the things that I've run into most of my life is this overwhelming fear in general. This sense that I am not safe. And there's a lot of communication in the media and in like new age thinking and even actually in like religious thought that, we are the people we surround ourselves with. And because of that, and because of my awareness of the fact that we're all kind of dysfunctional in our own ways, I feel very unsafe around almost everyone, because I'm like, oh, I can see that, I'm going to be that. Like, I become afraid that I'm just going to be all of the negative aspects that I see in people, even if I also see positive. That fear just pervades. And so all of a sudden, I realized that when I moved here 3.5 years ago, I stopped being in relationships with people, like romantic relationships with people, because I knew I needed to be by myself. But I didn't totally know why. And for the longest time, I thought I needed to be by myself, so I needed to be by myself. And so I isolated, and I talked to God, but I didn't really know who God was. And then over time, as I slowly realized, oh my gosh, we're social creatures, I need to get out and be social, that's when I started to meet other believers and other people who were light filled. And still, honestly, most of them are Christian that I know so far, or some like vein of that. I don't know if Elizabeth Gilbert is one, but I think that she carries the light for sure. And yes, I have like a character crush on her, and I have no idea why. Well, she's just really talented and amazing. But anyway, so this fear of safety and fear of people, and then turning that into like becoming more and more trusting, and just kind of like, if I saw a light, then going towards that and trusting that person and where they might lead me. And ultimately, of course, they led me to God, and for me, that was a Christian God. And I still struggle with my faith around Christ in particular. Like, was he the Son of God? I don't know. And people would argue all sorts of things, but ultimately, like, the Christ that I believe walked the earth was the human manifestation of God's love here. And so when I've seen that in other people, it's taught me how to be more that. And also, it's taught me how to then pursue and seek God's love through prayer and meditation. And because I still see Jesus as separate from God, it's difficult for me to comprehend him as God and human at once. Like, it just blows my mind. So reaching out straight to God is like what I do. And I had this moment this morning where I basically realized that this last 3.5 years, while I've been alone, I have been learning how to be in the company of God. And this may not be huge for anyone else, but it was huge for me, because I realized that when I connect with God on a daily basis through prayer and meditation, and just consistently like seek his presence and his guidance and his love, he is the community that I am a part of first and foremost. Like, he's the one thing that I am choosing to be most deeply and greatly exposed to on a daily basis. And because of that, he's with me even when I am in the presence or company of others who might on the surface be people I would otherwise be afraid would bring me down. And so all of a sudden I realized, like, I'm safe in any situation because God is my main source of influence. Like, even if I don't totally know what he is or what he's saying, like, that love and that light, it's there, and it can clean out any gunk that I take on when I'm around other people. And so there's this feeling of freedom that I have, because now it feels safer to be around people of all walks of life, and just to trust that, like, the social circle that I am most part of isn't even human, it's God. And that's like a layer around me. It just sort of holds me, and not protects me in a bad way, but just keeps me aligned with that love and that stability and grounding and truth, beauty, and goodness. So I wanted to share that, because I don't know if maybe that would be insightful for someone else. but that's kind of what's been on my mind. Okay, so as far as the EDA literature, the next paragraph is, we are equals, regardless of the manifestation of our eating disorders or our current circumstances. Those in recovery do not have a superior attitude with respect to those who have not yet found relief or taken action. You will find neither pity nor shame in our rooms. Some of us have advanced degrees and some of us work with eating disordered clients, but in our EDA work, we are all peers. This is so helpful because I think that one of the things that this is like a huge reminder of humility, and humility in general, meaning thinking that I'm no greater than and no less than anyone, that I have an experience that I can share that is mine, and so that's the only authority I really have in it, but it doesn't make my experience trump anyone else's, or it doesn't dictate what anyone else's should be. And so I find this to be such a great guiding force in this program and then just in life, because it takes away the responsibility. Like, I can't fix and change someone. I used to want to be a healer, and now I just want to facilitate healing if I can, but I certainly can't. I'm not like some, magician out there just like doing Jesus' work, or anyone, that someone else can take care of that. But I feel like it also just makes me someone that others can relate to, and I hope that it allows others to, and invites people to have their own experiences and then to share them, because we are really the stories that we've lived and that we tell, and so we each deserve to have our own that's uniquely crafted based on our experiences. So I appreciate that in this program, I can trust that the people around me understand, or at least are willing to be open to the idea that we're equal regardless of how long or how short a person's been in recovery. We all have growth and insight to gain and share. So it's gone a little long, but I hope that you are well, and I send you tons of love. Tons of love. Okay, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.